Chosen ones, you were born to heal your mother's wound. They say a mother's love is the first home you ever know. But what if your first home was cold, confusing, filled with silence, rejection, or pressure to become someone you were never meant to be? You've carried that ache for years, wondering what you did wrong, why love felt conditional, why you were always trying to earn what should have been freely given. But hear this, you weren't sent here to be loved perfectly. You were sent to heal what was never healed before you. This is more than childhood pain. It's deeper than memory. This is about the sacred contract your soul made before you ever took your first breath. You were born through your mother, yes, but not for her approval. You were born to break the cycle she couldn't escape. And when you finally understand that the shame lifts, the confusion clears, and something inside you finally starts to breathe again. Stay with me, because in this video, you'll uncover why the love you didn't receive was never your fault. You'll remember what your soul chose before you came into this life, and you'll begin to heal the wound that tried to define your worth. So if this speaks to you, if your body knows what I'm saying before your mind catches up, type 777 in the comments. That's your sign that healing has begun. And subscribe to Secrets of the Bible, because we're creating a space where cycles end and love begins again. Let's begin. That pain was never just yours. It lived in your breath, your body, your tears. But it didn't start there. It was passed down like an unspoken story, tucked into lullabies, carried in glances, woven into the silence between mother and child. You were born into a story already in motion, a quiet inheritance of sorrow, shame, and silence. And before you could speak, before you could name what hurt, you were already carrying the weight of something unspoken. You felt it, didn't you? That heaviness in your chest, the need to be perfect, the fear of being too much or not enough, the way love came wrapped in fear, the way her eyes sometimes looked through you, not at you, the way your joy made her uncomfortable, or how your questions felt like attacks. You didn't understand it back then. All you knew was that something felt heavy in the room, like you were holding your breath inside someone else's storm. So you tried to be good. You tried to be small. You tried to make her smile, to keep the peace, to avoid the outbursts. But still, it never felt safe. It never felt like enough. And no one told you that storm you were trying to calm wasn't yours. It belonged to her. And even she didn't know where it began. Because before she was your mother, she was a girl with dreams too big for the walls she lived in. A girl who learned to swallow her feelings because no one ever asked how she felt. A little girl with no place to put her tears. She wasn't taught how to feel, only how to be. Strong, silent, obedient. She learned to cope, not to heal. And her unhealed wounds shaped the way she loved and the way she raised you. She was formed by women who had no room to cry, who mistook control for love, who wore strength like armor because softness had no place to rest. So she hardened. She built walls around the places that once bloomed. And by the time she held you in her arms, she was still carrying that little girl inside, bruised, buried, unmet. She carried unspoken grief in her smile, buried shame in her silence, and called it love when it hurt, because that's what love looked like to her. She didn't mean to pass it down. She didn't even know she had it. But pain has a way of teaching what it knows. Wounds don't vanish just because we hide them. They wait, they linger, and they look for the next heart to land in. That heart was yours, but you felt it differently. Even before you had the language, your soul knew this wasn't how love was meant to feel. You were born with a sensitivity that unsettled the silence, an awareness that asked questions no one was ready to answer. You noticed what others ignored. You felt what others numbed. And for that, you often felt out of place, like something was wrong with you. But what if nothing was ever wrong with you? What if that deep feeling, that holy discomfort, was never a flaw, but proof of your assignment? You weren't sent here to mirror the pain. You were sent to break its reflection. You weren't born to carry her sorrow. You were born to transform its echo. That's why the rules never felt right. Why you questioned what others blindly accepted. Why you longed for softness in a home built on survival. Because your soul remembered something older than pain. It remembered truth. You are the chosen one. Not because you're perfect. Not because life was easy, but because your spirit said yes long before you arrived. Yes to being the one who would feel it all. Yes to being the one who would stop it here. You didn't choose the pain, but you chose to come through it so no one after you would have to. And maybe the hardest part of all is that you still love her. You still long for her approval, her embrace, her softness, even when she hurt you, even when she couldn't see you. And you've wrestled with that guilt, haven't you? That quiet voice that whispers, but she did her best. Maybe I'm just being ungrateful. That inner conflict pulling you between loyalty and liberation. Between staying small for her comfort or expanding into your truth. But hear me, loyalty is not meant to cost you your becoming. Honoring where you came from doesn't mean staying trapped in the version of you they could handle. It means rising to the version God always knew you'd become. You are not betraying her by healing. You're blessing her because your healing reaches backward to the places she buried, to the wounds she never got to name. You're not doing this against her. You're doing this for both of you. You're showing her, even if she can't see it, that softness is safe. That love doesn't have to hurt. That cycles can be broken without breaking people. And when you heal, you don't just end what wounded you, you start something new. You become a resting place for love, for joy, for tenderness. You become the safe place you always needed. So keep walking. Even if the path feels lonely, even if your healing makes others uncomfortable. Because you were never called to blend in, you were called to set free. And this right here, this brave, sacred, quiet work, this is the assignment. This is the legacy. You want to honor her. Loving her was never the problem. It was losing yourself in the process that broke you. You still want the connection, but not the pain it carried. You want to make her proud, to be the child she needed, the one who kept the peace. But somewhere along the way, you realized in trying to save her, you were slowly disappearing. And then came the guilt. That voice whispering, "How dare you pull away?" She did her best. Yes, she did. But hear me, you were never born to be her emotional caretaker. You were not sent here to carry her unhealed grief at the cost of your own becoming. There's a quiet kind of grief in setting boundaries. They never taught you this, but boundaries are a form of love. Distance can be sacred. Silence can be healing. You can bless her from afar, without breaking yourself to stay near. Because choosing yourself is not betrayal, it's restoration. It's returning to the self you had to abandon just to survive. You don't have to hate her to heal from her. You don't have to stay to prove your love. You can carry both truths. I love you and I choose me. And maybe one day you'll stand before her, not as the wounded child, but as the healed person. And with tears in your eyes, strength in your voice, and love in your heart, you'll say, I understand now, Mom. I see the little girl you were. I see the woman who was never held. And I'm not here to blame you. I'm here to hold you the way no one ever did. I'm healed now. And if you want to, it's your turn, because that's what the chosen one does. They don't just survive the pain, they transform it. And they offer back love, not the kind they were given, but the kind they always needed. This is the new legacy. You didn't fail your mother. By healing, you honored her soul. By doing the sacred work she never got the chance to do. Silence into truth. Survival into freedom. You are the healer. You didn't just break the cycle. You planted something new in its place. And because of you, the cycle ends here. Because of you, the story changed. The next generation will not carry what you carried. They will know love without fear, softness without guilt, connection without control. You were never meant to be her. You were meant to become you truly, fully, freely, without apology. And if you're watching this with tears in your eyes or a lump in your throat, know this. You are not alone. You were chosen for this. To remember, to heal, to rebuild love on your own terms. If this message touched something deep in you, type 77 in the comments. Let it be your signal that the cycle ends here, that your healing has begun, and something beautiful begins.